that time again, folks. Boruto has done it again with its seasonal switcheroo when it comes to its ending. Yes, that's right, you may have missed it because of the insane hype that was opening 9. I can totally understand that. I mean, I loved that opening to pieces. It was insane. In fact, you can check out my reaction to it by clicking the link in the description once you've finished watching this video, of course. But there was a new, incredibly nostalgic ending too, one reminiscent of ye good old days. Because you see, ending 17 adopts a similar style to some previous Naruto ending when it comes to its way of visual storytelling. Its way of utilising seemingly empty and stationary imagery to convey emotion is such a great way of doing so. At first glance, this ending may seem simple, but trust me, there's a lot of things that you may have missed. So today what we're going to be doing is breaking down the story behind the ending and the sad truth behind it. I should definitely say this right now. This video has a huge spoiler from the manga, so if you are an anime only for Boruto, I do recommend that you click off the video. I'm sorry, but I've got to say it. So you've been warned. Without further ado though, let's jump into this brand new ending. So we actually begin by taking a wild trip back in time, to a time where the 4th Hokage still reigned supreme. We see Minato standing, admiring his stone face as the leader of the village, followed by an overcast sky and the Hidden Leaf village from back in the day, before the modernization that we're used to nowadays. And straight off the bat, you kind of get the vibe of the story that this ending is trying to tell. It's one portraying the generations of Naruto's family gone by, starting with Minato's. We get a shot of the infamous Konoha Cemetery, with the Will of Fire monument standing out, which is a stark contrast to what Boruto's generation is used to. This cemetery is so heavily linked with multiple wars and is used to pay homage to the soldiers who sacrificed their lives during it. And during those hard times, Minato was the leader, having to be the one responsible for his village despite the looming fear of death and sacrifice his men may have to make. This is then followed by the heartwarming reveal of Kushina's pregnancy, but the ending subsequently showcases the grim truth that was spawned from this as a spillage of red liquid which can be interpreted as the blood Kushina and Minato shed during the birth of their son, Naruto, sacrificing themselves as Kurama attacked. But it can also be seen as the red paint we see Naruto use as he pulls his pranks, painting the famous Hokage stone faces. As we know, Naruto originally did this to be the loud prankster of the village so that everybody's attention was on him, even if it was for the wrong reasons. But this ending shows a different perspective. We see the sadness in Naruto's face. We can feel instantaneously how sad he feels and how he's forcing himself to do this for attention. He's basically the physical embodiment of this meme. The paint covers his face and shows himself looking in the mirror with his eyes still covered up. Naruto's trying to mask the pain, covering himself up so that it's almost like he doesn't exist, just like how those around him at the time wished. Which is when he lashes out, punching the mirror, which symbolises him breaking the seal to free Kurama, who, despite being the one responsible for giving Naruto such a rough childhood, was ironically the person who always knew him best. Their relationship, as we know, turned out to be a loving one, with each one looking out for each other because they know each other better than anybody else, which is showcased in this ending with Naruto's clenched fist, which we saw when he punched the mirror, releasing Kurama. He now has his adult fist, instead fist bumping Kurama. That is until Kurama vanishes. The one who was always there for him has now gone. This obviously relates back to the events of the Boruto manga, when Kurama sacrifices his life for Naruto's Bion mode to defeat Ishiki. Naruto doesn't know how to react. The person who he'd spent his entire life with, every single day of it, has now gone, essentially leaving Naruto feeling empty inside as his hand reaches out trying to hold on to anything but instead being left with completely nothing. We then see a plethora of dead, ripped up leaves, displaying the death originally caused by Kurama and his initial attack on the village which killed Naruto's parents, but is then followed up by a dead tree with, you guessed it, 9 dead branches, symbolizing Kurama's death. But in contrast to the overcast sky we saw at the beginning of the ending, we now see a much clearer blue sky, showing us just how much the world has changed since the war, how much brighter the future is. We even see new trees sprouting, including one with 9 small leaves in it branching off from the others, telling us that Kurama's sacrifice is responsible for the safety of many others, coming full circle. He's gone from being the one responsible for destroying the village to now saving it. Where Kurama once killed the leaves, he now sprouts new ones. Hiruzen said the following in chapter 137, where tree leaves dance, one shall find flames. The fire's shadow will illuminate the village, and once again tree leaves shall bud anew. This encapsulates Kurama's sacrifice perfectly. Dancing tree leaves is a term used when a leaf falls to the ground from a tree, in this case signifying the death of a Konoha citizen. One shall find flames relates to the will of fire and protecting the village, which Kurama ultimately does. While the final line, the fire's shadow will illuminate the village and once again tree leaves shall bud anew, is in regard to Kurama's sacrifice breathing new life into the village, allowing for the next generation to continue growing. And then, just like how this ending started with Minato looking at his own stone face, we now see Naruto looking at his stone face as the Hokage, the leader of this new generation. However, then the darkness returns. Just like how Naruto's birth indirectly caused so many fallen leaves, so to say, through Kurama, Boruto then appears, and with him, falling, dried up, dying leaves, symbolizing, like Boruto's prophecy says, that his blue eyes will eventually take everything from him. Just like how Naruto was indirectly responsible for the terror that came upon the village through Kurama, Boruto soon will be too through being Momoshiki's vessel. It then ends with Naruto walking towards Boruto where the falling leaves are. And boy, we can only hope that the anime isn't trying to foreshadow Naruto joining those dead leaves anytime soon, just like his father did all those years ago for his son. Guys, get in the comment section down below. Let me know, do you guys agree with my own interpretation of this ending? Also, be sure to let me know what you guys made of this ending. Did you interpret it a little bit differently than me, perhaps? Let me know. Also, leave a like on the video as well if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you're not already to become a member of the Senpai Squad. And I'll be seeing you guys in another video very, very soon. But until then, as always, peace.